Okay, welcome back. It's been a little more than a month since I uploaded. Time to do a quick channel update, and no worries, we're not going anywhere. We're not ending our content or anything like that. But those of you that know me know that I am a competitive athlete and that I am a long distance runner. And now that we are in spring, this is when I start doing a lot of competitive long distance races. Um, we got a lot of good content out over the winter. We did. We finished the Halo saga. We finally finished Halo 2. We did Doom 3, The Lost Mission, and Resurrection of Evil. That was a lot of fun. We also dabbled in some sports games. We didn't get too much into retro gaming. I apologize. I know some of you really like when I do the retro games. We will get back into retro games, I promise. But I wanted to finish the Doom 3 games, so we did Lost Mission, Resurrection of Evil. And then I'd always wanted to do some sports games, so we did some Fight Night games, fights with Butterbean. That was a lot of fun. I might still do a few more of those. Those ones are surprisingly popular. The Fight Night community, alive and well. They love watching those. There is still a Fight Night contingent that is always still playing that game and uploading, even though it's 13 years old. But I've already done 2 races. I did a 2-mile run in March. Came in third overall, and then I did a 5K just last week, and took second place in that one. And my gym has taken me up as a They've decided to sponsor me. They're paying my registration fees, and I've upped my training. I trained during the winter, but now that it's spring, I'm still training. I'm training a lot harder now to get ready for some of the more competitive events that are going to take place over the course of the spring and summer. I'm very excited. Last year was my first year competitive running, and I did 5 races. I did a 2-mile run, a couple of 5Ks, an 8K, and a 10K, and I finished in the top 10 all 5 times. Had 2 top 3 finishes, won my age bracket a couple times, age bracket runner-up the other times. So had such a strong showing last season that I'm really hoping to keep it going this season as well. And I made a lot of great friends that way. It was really fun running with athletes like me or better than me, and challenging myself to keep up with them. But anyway, so that being said, games we're going to do. So I've got a stack of retro games for my NES. I'm going to leave some of those as a surprise. One of them I've really got my eye on, and I think you're going to like it. It's one that's a retro game that isn't really talked about all that much. So we'll get into the retro games, but I've also got a stack of 360 games that I've been wanting to do for a long time. You're looking at one of them right now. Resident Evil 4 came out. The remake just came out. That was the original Resident Evil 4. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, but I didn't play Resident Evil 4 until the pandemic. I just never had time to play it. And then when the pandemic hit, it was one I finally crossed off my bucket list. I enjoyed it. I'll go ahead and pin a link in the comments section to Survival Horror Network, who does a fantastic job with the Resident Evil games, playing them very cinematically. Did not take him long to get a really high quality run on the Resident Evil 4 remake up on his channel, so I'll pin that in the comments section and you can judge for yourself. I think it looks awesome. The Resident Evil 4 remake. That's not on my list, unfortunately, but what is on my list is Resident Evil 5, what you're looking at right here. This was another one on my bucket list, never got around to it, despite being a huge Resident Evil fan. And now that they've remade Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and 4, the big question is, are they going to remake Resident Evil 5? And I can't wait to have that discussion when we actually start playing some Resident Evil 5. That is definitely going to be something we get on this channel. And as you can see, I have Sheva's alternate costume unlocked, so we're gonna, when we do play, we're gonna have some fun with it. I also have Resident Evil 6, a game that I still haven't played. I've got a copy right here, still sealed. I bought it, I think, a couple years ago, and just haven't gotten around to it. I'd like to get around to it sometime. I've got a copy of Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, where you play as the Umbrella agents or whatever. It looks interesting. Certainly a departure from the standard Resident Evil games. I'd like to give it a try, get some footage of it on the channel. Also, so they remade Dead Space. I never played any of the Dead Space games, but I've always wanted to play the second one. Everyone swears that Dead Space 2 is the best of the Dead Space trilogy. Haven't played it, and that might be a game that we upload footage of me just playing it cold, with no real idea what we're doing. So that one might be fun to do at some point. Yeah, so that's the 360 games we're looking at. Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Operation Raccoon City, Dead Space 2. So there is going to be some more interesting content coming down the pipeline, and I really just can't wait to discuss Resident Evil in general. Feels like just yesterday I was at Blockbuster Video playing a little demo setup they had for the original Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation 1. Fell in love, rented it, and never looked back. It's the series, the original Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 are games that are very near and dear to my heart. And lots of great things to say about those games. Although I don't know that we will be playing the original Resident Evil 1 and 2. I haven't found a way to do old school PlayStation 1 games on the channel. If I do, we will certainly do it, but that's going to be quite some time down the road. For now, we're looking down the barrel of Resident Evil 5 and 6, Operation Raccoon City, some retro games, Dead Space 2. That's what's on my list going forward. And by the way, one more note. It has not escaped my attention that YouTube is running ads on some of my videos. I promise you, I did not turn on AdSense. It is something I have zero control over, and it is something I'm very unhappy about. But there doesn't really seem to be anything I can do about it. So I renew my pledge. No ads on my channel, except when YouTube does it without my consent. This is still strictly a hobby channel, and we're going to get back to some games. It's going to be a little bit slower going for the next couple of months while racing season really picks up. And for those of you that are even remotely interested in that, of course I'll keep you apprised of how this season goes for me. I got another 5K at the Travelers Golf Course in Cromwell, Connecticut in a couple weeks that I'm excited about. It's a race that was discontinued, or that they didn't do during the pandemic, but now the pandemic is over, so the race is back on, and we'll see how we do. But anyway, thanks for still sticking around. Thanks for still checking out the content. Cannot wait to jump into some of these games. And we will see you again real soon.